Hey everyone, it's Victoria with Nutrition by Victoria. I have a Master's of Science degree in Human Nutrition, and I'm here to help you build a high-functioning metabolism so that you can get and stay effortlessly slim, lean, fit, and most importantly, healthy, all while eating unlimited calories from the right sources. And what are we talking about here? Fruits and vegetables. So I recently lost from May to June about 15 pounds. I'll play the B-roll here. Here's my before. And this is 7 months postpartum. And now here's me at 9 months postpartum. Lost a substantial amount of weight. I mean, you can really tell big difference here. And the reason why is because I just, I was eating a high carb, low fat, plant-based diet. But I wasn't, really focused on maximizing my fruit and vegetable intake. So when I did that, and I, took out the refined grains, took out, a lot of the processed sugars, and really focused on eating whole foods and most importantly, fruit, my body composition changed dramatically, lost a lot of weight, improved blood sugar levels, and am just experiencing better health overall. So today we are going to watch this classic video, How Much Fruit is Too Much Fruit, on nutritionfacts.org. Dr. Greger going over the science and the research of why I effortlessly lost weight by consuming unlimited amounts of fruit in particular and vegetables, eating an average of 3,000 calories a day. Let's get right into it.
Previously, I explored how adding blueberries to our meals can actually blunt the detrimental effects of high glycemic foods. But how many berries? The purpose of this study was to determine the minimum level of blueberry consumption at which a consumer may realistically expect to receive an antioxidant benefit after eating blueberries with a sugary breakfast cereal. If we eat a bowl of cornflakes with no berries, within 2 hours, so many free radicals are created it puts us into oxidative debt.
So this is important to recognize the importance of adding more fruits and vegetables to your diet. Always having fruit with a meal, always having vegetables with a meal, regardless of what it is that you're having. So lately in my content, I have been suggesting that in order to encourage more weight loss and also improved health, just adding more fruits and vegetables to your diet will help to create that. And this is why.
The antioxidant power of our bloodstream drops below where we started from before breakfast as the antioxidants in our body get used up. And a quarter cup of blueberries didn't seem to help much, but a half cup of blueberries did. What about fruit for diabetics? Most guidelines recommend eating a diet with a high intake of fiber-rich food, including fruit, because they're so healthy. Antioxidants, anti-inflammatory, improve.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Fruit contains so many nutrients that have a beneficial effect on our body that we really need to be focusing on eating enough of them every day. And for the general public, in terms of fruit and vegetable consumption, that looks like 5 to 9 servings a day. Most people don't get that, and it's because they think, fruit has too much sugar. There's a huge like low carb thing. It's always in fashion, the low carb thing, but that is very detrimental to one's health. Not eating enough fruit, not eating enough carbohydrates in general. And that is simply because our metabolism, our energy production is completely dependent on sufficient glucose intake, particularly from fruits, as it is the process of photosynthesis that generates glucose in plants to begin with, and in particular fruits.
Arterial function and reduce cancer risk. However, some health professionals have concerns about the sugar content of fruit and therefore recommend restricting the fruit intake.
Yeah, restricting fruit intake is never a good idea because then people are just going to eat a bunch of crap and high fat, low nutrient, low carb foods, in particular junk foods, pseudo foods, foods that, damage the body, just like we saw with the cornflakes, where the fruit is protective and also soon he's going to be investigating its effect on blood glucose levels and type 2 diabetics.
Okay, let's put it to the test. Diabetics are randomized into two groups, one told to eat at least 2 pieces of fruit a day, and the other told at most 2 fruits a day. The reduced fruit group reduced their fruit, but had no effect on the control of their diabetes or weight, and so the intake of fruit should not be restricted in patients with type 2 diabetes.
This is important for those of you who are following the McDougall program, in particular the maximum weight loss starch solution version, because it does restrict fruit intake to 2 pieces of fruit a day. And Dr. McDougall claims that it's in order to prevent, blood glucose levels from being too high and triglyceride levels from being too high. And yeah, obviously with this study, you're seeing that that is not the case. The McDougall program also is based on calorie restriction. Anybody who is recommending your fruit intake to be restricted and you're on some kind of diet protocol, like what Healthy Emmy has going on and Plantable Kiki, High Carb Hannah, any of the starch solution where fruit is being restricted, and then you're also restricting your starch portion by balancing it with a 50-50 plate of like starch to vegetables. You're just following a calorie restrictive model, and you don't need to do that. You can actually eat as much as you want, but of the right foods, okay? Fruits, most importantly, vegetables, and starches if desired.
An emerging literature has shown that low-dose fructose may actually benefit blood sugar control. So having a piece of fruit with each meal would be expected to lower, not raise the blood sugar response.
So that's why I have been suggesting in my recent videos that in order to lose more weight, in order to get healthier, just simply adding more fruits and vegetables to your diet will get you moving in that direction.
The threshold for toxicity of fructose may be around 50 grams. The problem is that's the current average adult fructose consumption thanks to industrial sugars like table sugar and high fructose corn syrup. So the levels of half of all adults are likely above the threshold for fructose toxicity, and adolescents currently average 75.
So because no one is eating enough fruit, everybody's getting their fructose desire from industrialized processed forms, which, in my opinion, are okay as long as you are eating enough fruit and then see if you still want it. Use sugar to taste after you've eaten enough fruit, okay? Or to make your fruit sweeter if it's not very sweet. Using it that way as opposed to, meeting your fructose requirements with industrialized processed versions of what you really want, which is fruit.
Now, is that the limit for added sugars or for all fructose? If we don't want more than 50 and there's like 10 in a piece of fruit, should we not eat more than 5 fruit a day? Quoting from the Harvard Health Letter, the nutritional problems of fructose and sugar come when they are added to foods. Fruit, on the other hand, is beneficial in almost any amount.
There you go. Unlimited fruit intake. Okay. It will help you to meet your health and aesthetic goals. That's what it's done for me in particular. And I haven't cut, my added sugar um content on my diet out completely. I still have it if desired, but I got to be honest, like having, a pound of dates a day, I don't really want it. So, and eating, sweet fruit, letting your fruit ripen so that it builds its nutritional density and its natural Brix value, aka sugar intake or sugar content, then you'll really find that, fruit is tasty. You want to eat it all the time. It's satisfying, and you'll find yourself benefiting from it immensely.
What do they mean by almost? Can we eat 10 fruit a day? How about 20 fruit a day? It's actually been put to the test. 17 people were made to eat 20 servings a day of fruit, despite the extraordinarily high fructose content of their diet,
Yeah, this is me.
presumably about 200 grams a day, 8 cans of soda worth. The investigators reported no adverse effects, possible benefit actually, for body weight, blood pressure, and insulin and lipid levels, fats in the blood after 3 to 6 months.
So I had benefits just doing this for a month, cutting everything else out of my diet and eating, getting all of my calories from fruit with some vegetables, but the vegetables like they're pretty negligible in terms of like their calorie percentage overall for a diet. So right, so I'm getting, the majority of my calories from fruit, and I lost 15 pounds in a month eating 3,000 calories a day of fruit, and my blood glucose levels just completely normalized. They were pretty normal before, but then they improved even more. And then my blood pressure's always been normal. So yeah, pretty incredible. Eat your fruit.
More recently, Jenkins and colleagues put people on about a 20 servings of fruit a day diet for a few weeks and no adverse effects on weight or blood pressure or triglycerides, and an astounding 38-point drop in LDL cholesterol. There was
So the important thing here to note is getting enough calories, right? Because some of these levels, particularly cholesterol, I've seen elevated in people who restrict their calories even if they're eating, exclusively fruits and vegetables. So it's important that you eat enough calories if you're going to eat an exclusive fruit and vegetable diet, because sometimes people are like, oh, well, I can't eat that much, right? Well, it's important that you do eat enough so that all of your blood markers stay within range, and you're continuing to fuel your metabolism, which makes losing body fat, excess body fat, a lot easier to do when your metabolism is intact. And for those of you who need help with gaining metabolic health, my coaching program goes over every single aspect of human nutrition and how to lose weight the healthy way and how to build your metabolism after maybe you're coming from a restrictive background. The link for that is in the description of this video as well.
one side effect, though, given the 44 servings of vegetables they had on top of all that fruit, they recorded the largest bowel movements apparently ever documented in a dietary intervention.
Okay, so I can definitely attest to that. If you're having issues with constipation, eat a fruit and vegetable heavy diet and you will no longer have any issues with that. Most people who struggle with constipation are coming from a restrictive background. So any of the negative effects of eating a fruit and vegetable diet generally come from not eating enough of them. Okay, so that is it for this little video from Dr. Greger, and I am going to end this here. Please leave any comments or questions you have, about nutrition, about, how to eat more fruits and vegetables. What about making it affordable, right? I had a question about that today. Eat what is in season. I'm also not opposed to eating canned fruit, especially if it's just in juice. And even if it needs like to be sweetened, adding a little bit of sugar to that is perfectly fine. It's more important that you eat the fruits and the vegetables than not eating them. And by eating more of them, you can push the junk out of your diet, okay, and get some really incredible weight loss and health benefits. Okay, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.